Buddha once told a story of a hunter who often went into the mountains to hunt. One day, he saw a beautiful and lovely animal in the distance that looked like a wild cat. As he approached it, he realized it was a baby lion. He took the lion home and raised it with his sheep. As the lion spent more time with the sheep, it learned their habits and mannerisms, and even started to bleat like them. The lion completely forgot its true nature as a lion. One day, the lion was walking by a lake and saw its own reflection. It was shocked to see its own face and roared in protest. Suddenly, the lion remembered its true nature and ran off into the wilderness, leaving behind the sheep who were frightened and scattered. The mother lion had been searching for her lost cub and heard the roar. She rushed to the scene and was overjoyed to be reunited with her cub. From that moment on, the young lion knew its true identity and was no longer used by the hunter as a sheep. This story reveals the philosophy of life that teaches us to know ourselves. From a Buddhist perspective, Buddha taught that all sentient beings are equal and have the potential to become Buddhas. However, beings are trapped by their ignorance and cannot recognize their true nature as Buddhas. They lose their inner Buddha nature and wander aimlessly, leading a meaningless existence. The Ragama Sutra says, sentient beings constantly use their six senses to engage with external circumstances without pause or rest. They gaze at colors all day, yet do not know who is the one that sees. They listen to sounds all day, yet do not know who is the one that hears. Thus it is said, although they go about their day, they are unaware. Because of this, they are confused by external circumstances and create all kinds of karma. As mentioned earlier, karma is the cause. Eventually, they will experience the consequences of their actions and cycle through various births and deaths. From a human perspective, if we forget ourselves and fail to recognize our true nature, then we will become like a lost lion, following others blindly without direction. We become like a puppet, controlled by others. But like the lion in the story, we can awaken to our true identity and find ourselves. We must recognize ourselves and know ourselves. We are all in a stage of learning. To know ourselves, it is best to start with the basics such as reading, practicing calligraphy, drawing, and writing to express ourselves and cultivate ourselves into wholesome individuals. And then, from a deeper level, such as the spiritual practices of religion, especially Buddhism, we should turn inward and focus on the spiritual, with the expectation to understand the true nature of ourselves. We can avoid being attached to external things and mistaking enemies as friends, which can lead to a meaningless life and an endless disastrous. Although both approaches aim to help us to know ourselves, the difference, from a worldly perspective, we are focusing on developing a physical and mental health through self-awareness, while from the perspective of Buddhism, we should first focus on gaining self-awareness and taking care of our physical and mental health, and then further develop ourselves to cultivate our Buddha nature. In this way, from the worldly to the spiritual, from the basics to the depths, this should be a straightforward path to thoroughly understanding ourselves in the philosophy of life.